What are your thoughts on Bigfoot, Ken? That's a nice segue.
We actually put that out on a T-shirt recently.
I'm open-minded. I'll tell you where I stand. I would need to see legitimate evidence for me to believe that it is something outside of a demon. Now, if you were to say, and maybe you guys have said this, if Bigfoot is a demonic thing and it's like that, I would believe that quicker than just it's some
let's go with
rare
that. Ken,
breed.
let's start there.
Well, yeah.
Okay,
What is a demon, Ken?
What's a demon?
What is a demon?
Yeah.
It is a evil spirit.
Okay, good.
But is it physical?
Yeah. So
Is it physical?
Yeah.
I think it can be.
Okay.
But it needs something to be physical, right?
It's not by itself, right? Like,
Not
so
necessarily.
let's look at the Bible. So
I believe that it can embody someone.
There we go.
Yeah.
In Scripture, God makes it very clear.
Because
He casts out demons.
why would a spirit want to get in a body?
So it can do bad things.
Yeah.
Hey, guy. Hey, listen. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm going to do my best to answer these questions. Correct me when I'm
the
wrong.
This is good. No,
The ancients-
yeah.
The ancients called them bastard spirits.
Okay.
So they're sort of like they weren't supposed to be here.
Right.
Their parents had a fuzzy past, and they're sort of lingering around.
Okay.
Bigfoot leaves footprints. Bigfoot has hair on fences. Bigfoot has looking in windows. Bigfoot doesn't know what it's doing a lot.
That's what
Allegedly.
That's what you've been told.
Allegedly.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm saying, do I believe in Bigfoot?
Sure.
The answer is to see this physical being. I got to see it with my own eyes.
No, that's fair. I think that's fair. And also, but I just want to deconstruct demon because I think
Right.
a
demonic,
demon,
yes.
Demonic, yes. So
It's
there's a
like
difference between like
a
demonic,
adjective,
our alien encounters demonic. Absolutely, most of them are evil. Like they're abductions.
Not all of them.
Allegedly, but not all of them. But most of them are, right? And that I would consider that to be demonic. Are a lot of Bigfoot counters demonic? Yeah, I would say that like there's frightening, right?
Right.
But is Bigfoot a demon? And I mean, by
There
definition,
are.
a demon's a spirit. And as Nate's saying, I think what we've kind of gone down is like demons don't leave footprints.
Gotcha.
Demons don't.
Yeah.
Demons don't leave hair.
Unless
That's what's embodied.
But
So
again,
it could be like a rental car for a demon.
But I love this question because here's what I
Yeah.
want the audience to hear.
Yeah.
I want the audience to hear that there's a difference between belief and knowledge.
Sure.
So I'm going to tell you I don't believe that there are Bigfoots, but I will also be the first to say I cannot say that I have knowledge that I am correct.
You don't.
What's the plural of
disbelieve
Bigfoot?
in
Would Bigfoot be big feet?
Big feet.
It's kind of like the whole like,
Well-
and to get up in the north and the Midwest, it's like, is
Now listen,
it beers or beer or deers
Right.
or deers, right?
I think it's deer, but
so then you have like if you drank 3 beer, it'd be like 3 beer, right? This is the Wisconsin argument.
That's
It's like-
actually great.
It's not a bad.
It's not a bad argument.
sense, right?
But I think that's what the show is. That's the point, is that there's half the population. To me, it's like one of my favorite 80s movies. We have an 80s theme. Is that moment where he's like, you got to sell the farm, Ray.
right,
Like, you plowed your field.
Yeah.
You built a baseball field.
Right.
You're crazy.
right.
Then this paranormal experience happens. This ghost walks on into real life, saves
Right.
his kid. And he's like, don't sell the farm. So some people need that moment. But everyone else is like the different guy. They're Ray. Like, they hear a voice. They feel something. And they're like, I don't know it's true if it's true. And then that's one of the best movies. That's one of my favorite movies because it's like,
Field of Dreams.
yeah,
People who
Field
don't
of
know, yeah.
Dreams.
Oh yeah,
It walks
it's one of the
between
great sports movies all time.
Yes, the skeptic.
Hoosiers as well.
Hoosiers number one.
And he believes that he's just kind of on a mission. He doesn't really know what he's doing. And then he's pissed because he can't go out into I can't go out there and see what the afterlife is like. And they're like, you want to wait. So it's like, it plays to all the different types of personalities.
Yeah.
And that's what we started with, the most skeptical.
Yeah,
The way that we handled this is like, okay, you can look at a pyramid. You
Right.
can see it. You can't deny that it exists.
Right.
It's 20 million blocks.
Yeah.
And they're all 2 tons.
yeah. No cranes.
Yeah, it would take 20 years if you laid 1 block every 5 minutes.
Right.
So how did they do it?
Full disclosure.
start there.
You shared this with me before
Yeah.
over cigar,
Yeah.
and that's what got me. That's
Yeah.
when I knew
Yeah.
you'd done your homework because
Yeah.
I had actually never had to confront that, and I was
Yeah.
like, "That's a good point." Then there's Stonehenge.
Yeah.
I mean, how do you move
Peru.
these giant rocks?
And there's
the Peru
pyramids all over the
situation.
world. And they're
Yeah.
all built kind of the same.
I started watching a documentary because
Yeah.
of you. This is not good. Yeah. Okay. So I'm told we have an audience question or two. All right, let's go right here.
Yeah. So something that I was thinking about while you guys were talking about Bibles, and speaking of Bibles, we've seen like some Gen Z translation Bibles, and they're pretty wild if we're being honest. And if if there happened to be a Bible that maybe not translated, but gave maybe some of these images that we've talked about or explanations, do we think that this would potentially bring more people to faith, or do we think this could push people in a different direction, or maybe potentially being misinterpreted?
Like an updated translation that includes some of these topics. I think the more we go back to the original, they wrote all the strange things in there because they didn't have a belief problem. You know, like don't have any other gods before me isn't saying don't believe in things that aren't.
No, it's
don't
like
exist.
don't watch too much SEC football on Saturdays, man. That's more important. You know.
Yeah, and so we don't really know we don't know what idolatry really means. We don't really understand what the ancient would say idolatry is and versus the modern person. So I think with more modern interpretations, I think we lose all the context. I think that's probably, in the age of AI, there's going to be 1 billion Bibles. So I think understanding Hebrew language and going back to the original writers who were there is the best way to...
Like the Septuagint, like in Greek, I think is... We have an interesting question, though. Like, I think the second part of the question is fascinating. It's like, does whitewashing the scriptures help, and maybe in a sense, help bring more people into the faith? And I don't see how that could. I think at some point, then you have this aha, which is like, oh, it's all watered down. Like, and I feel like that's a disservice. Like, and I think for all of us, the good thing is that a lot of people in 2020 had a lot of scales come off their eyes. And so I think that's why we have this incredible boom in conspiracy theories and people believing these, even the most wild ones, is because all of a sudden they believe, well, if this mass lie could be pushed over the populace and we could all be lied to, then what else are they lying to us about? But I actually think that opens the door for us to believe that, like, maybe it's not as simple or whitewashed as we had thought. Maybe history is a lot crazier than we've been told, and maybe there's a lot of stuff that becomes more believable when you have your paradigm shattered, when you kind of get red pilled, I guess, in 2020, right?
I think what we've learned is a lot of esoteric stuff. A lot of we delve into cults, why things are so dark and heavy, and we get into some crazy weeds. But it seems like a lot of the religions of the world, it was one guy got a download from an entity. And the thing that's interesting about the scriptures is it's all these different books, but they're all kind of saying the same thing.
66 books.
And I would say this is kind of a crazy leap, but when you have everybody saying the same thing, you've got to look at that. I think there is truth in the community. If 50 people come on your show and say that I had a Sasquatch experience, I'm sort of like it's mathematically impossible to me to say you're all lying. That's not possible. All the New Testament writers and the Old Testament, they're all saying the same thing, and there's so many narratives, so it helps you believe it. Versus if one guy wrote the Bible, we'd all go, I don't think so. That guy was crazy. He took some mushrooms, wrote this book, and we're all, but the reason we believe it is because everyone's saying the same thing. And I think that if we go back to the original writers and what they were saying, that's the best answer, I think.
Hey guys, your personal info is sitting on the internet for any creep to find. That's not just scary, it's dangerous, because scammers, spammers, and thieves can buy and sell it through hundreds of data broker sites. And that's why you need Delete Me. They shine a light and remove your data from those sites. Look, the internet can be a frightening place, but Delete Me helps protect your privacy and keeps the bad guys away. So go to joindeleteme.com/frontrowseat today for 20% off any annual plan. That comes out to just $9 a month. What about the power of the mind?
Yeah, sure.
And I'm not trying to be skeptical.
No, this is good.
You guys know my spirit. Call my spirit out if at any point.
Yeah.
I hear you say 50 people. Hey, 50 people have a Sasquatch experience. That's
just
enough
on our
math.
show.
I know.
Yeah.
No, I'm taking you literally
Yeah,
what you said. And in the math for you, you go, that's enough math for me. I sit here and I go, and I have mad respect for you. I know you're a good person. I don't think you're crazy. But I go, that's not enough math for me. Here's why. And then push back on this.
Sure.
I think the mind is so powerful. I really believe that we can create a reality that's not a reality.
Well, the problem with that is you have these mass experiences. So that argument would have to ring true then when you have 4 people, 3 people, two people having an experience and having the same thing.
All together, they
Together.
saw?
Yeah.
Oh.
So these happen, and we get it. There's mass alien encounters. There's a bunch of these that you have groups of people that have the same encounter at the same time, record the same thing, it's separated in different rooms.
Yeah.
The same thing happens with Sasquatch. So then you have to sort of throw those out and be like, okay, so for whatever reason, these experiences of these people who are having it together are having sort of this mass psychosis at the same time.
And that's fair.
And you have to toss that as
That's-
well.
that's
They
fair.
see a
That's a
creature
good
that they
point.
can actually distinct the difference between, like, if you throw a photo in that looks like a monkey versus a Sasquatch. People have seen enough of the Sasquatch to know the Sasquatch face is more human, and the footprints are a specific way, and the way that there's the anatomy of the foot is actually different than a human. And I think it doesn't matter how much evidence you have. The human mind is so great to disbelieve versus to create something that doesn't exist. Because if that was mass
Okay.
psychosis was happening, we would have a dictionary this big of weird stuff that people have seen. But they don't see a bunch of weird stuff. They don't see like the head of a T-Rex and the body of a wild beast. It's this ape man creature.
All right,
Just
now that
this
is the
ape man
best. Okay, major kudos. That's the best response that I've ever
And
heard.
I would caveat that.
That's
say,
really
say
good.
that we went back to Heiser. We had Heiser on the show, and he said something that's like, to me, has been sort of the crux of the show. Is that like, of all these encounters, if even just one is true, then it busts the paradigm.
Fair.
And you have to create space for this. So you have to either be like, it's a zero-sum game, everyone's lying,
Right.
right? Or maybe everyone's lying but one person, but that still breaks
Yeah,
your paradigm,
that's
and
a
you have to believe. It's like the atheism
That's
argument.
philosophically
Well, it's the
sound.
atheism argument too, right? Like
that's
the
good.
idea that like it takes more faith to be an atheist because
Right.
you have to believe that everything here
Right.
is an accident.
So,
Yeah.
in the day and age of cell phones, is there a day coming where we finally get indisputable evidence?
So,
Where
I was-
somebody,
let's
where
go, man. You've been talking to him.
yeah.
does Sasquatch break his foot and he can't walk or he's in a bear trap? And finally, on ABC,
Finally, we get him.
CNN, Anderson Cooper, he's looking over, he's like, we've got a Sasquatch.
Already happened.
Huh?
It's already happened.
I missed it. I missed the
So did
entire
I.
story. Went right over my head.
Well, that was in the '60s, late '60s. The Patterson-Gimlin film. They filmed the one that the National Geographic, the one is walking and it looks back and
Yeah.
it keeps going.
It's a her.
It's a her. It's a her.
How,
It is.
I don't
She
even
now.
believe I'm about to ask this. How do we know?
Okay, it's before
Anatomy.
the age. Okay,
Anatomy,
it's,
baby.
it's a film camera, so it's film.
Okay.
right? And it's been broken down. There are people who've devoted their entire life to studying this film.
He thought we had a weird job.
Yeah.
I mean,
Right.
They are on a mission to prove that Sasquatch is real, that they are so obsessed. They're like in their mom's basement and they're going frame by frame. They're pulling it every year. We can get a little bit more higher resolution. They've basically broken down the anatomy of this creature and proved that it's not a human being in that film. So if you Google Patterson-Gimlin film, you can see it. But it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter until like the system comes out and says we have categorized this in the phylum of species and it's real. And I don't think, from what we've heard, there's a lot of like Men in Black stories whenever
Here we go.
whenever it gets close to disclosure of the Sasquatch. And that's just one strange thing that goes bump in the night in
Okay.
a grand scheme of things that we hear.
But
So-
you would think, like, I actually was talking to the girl who cuts my hair today. She was like, why does every Bigfoot video look like it's taken with a potato? And I'm like, yeah, that's a great question.
It's a fair point.
It's a fair point.
But a lot of theories are the reason why modern tech can't catch up to it is they can sense the technology through just sort of their, like, some animals can detect a lot of things. They can smell miles away.
Frequencies,
And
stuff,
these
yeah.
creatures know when there's some electronic thing being used. And the reason they got that film is because there was no...
because the reason it's on
actual
film and not digital.
You realize how convenient that sounds?
It sounds very convenient. I agree.
It really does.
Well, you see this with hunters and game cams.
yeah.
Because they'll be like, dude, there's this hand in my game cam.
Right.
And
Oh.
it knew. And so I've seen thousands of photos of like game cams getting messed with up high on a tree, not a bear, not something else. And hunters just start to come around and go, what the heck? I've seen everything. And I don't know what this is. But they seem to know.
Yeah.
They know that it's better off if we don't know that they're there.
Okay.
But
All
they're
right.
curious, so they
It does
come
sound,
around.
It does sound a little crazy when you talk about like that.
Well,
Yeah.